Welcome back to the big recap here on Boxing Legends TV. Today, we'll be taking a look at all the heavyweight action and news from the last few weeks, and we'll be previewing the big title showdowns between Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker, and Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz.
So for the best to prove that they are the best must fight each other. So I'm going to bless you again with the second opportunity.
If you enjoy our videos, please remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. First up, we have the big unification clash that everyone is talking about, AJ versus Parker.
And not only is it Parker speaking, his team is speaking as well, and they're very, very confident. So
I personally feel like this fight has been in the making ever since AJ turned pro. I remember the YouTube beef in the comments section from late 2013 with the Kiwis getting right behind the rising star, and for good reason.
He's some kind of rough right now. That's it.
I was surprised to see how Parker's team went about getting the fight in the first place, though, by suggesting Joshua had a questionable chin. They even went as far as holding a press conference just to show a short edited video of AJ being dropped and rocked in the amateurs and the pros.
Joseph Parker's never been off his feet as an amateur or a professional or in sparring. So you have to say Joseph has a better chin than Anthony Joshua.
I guess there is a first for everything, but I thought it'd be interesting to delve a bit further and make up our own minds as to whether AJ is a bit frail around the whiskers.
Now it becomes very real indeed.
Here is the first time we saw AJ a bit shook up as a pro when he got slightly rocked by Dillian Whyte in the second round of their fight from 2015.
Unravel here. Joshua's picking him off as the guard drops a solid crunching right hook. White can certainly take a punch, and he shook Joshua. He shook Joshua.
Joshua's hurt.
Joshua's in big trouble. Massive turnaround here. White going for it.
This round was truly great. AJ looked very close to stopping White before that punch landed, and in all fairness, he looked pretty close to doing it again at the end of the round. Is this the sign of a weak chin? Not for me. It was a highly heated showdown with two men swinging bombs at each other. AJ didn't go down, and he recovered pretty quickly. A more interesting one came from the European Championships in 2011. Joshua was still only a relative novice at the time, and in his latest press conference he came up with a few excuses as to why he lost by stoppage. But watching this footage back, boy did AJ take a beating here.
İnanılmaz bir sol köşe. Bir tane daha vuruyor, yatırdı neredeyse. İptal olmasa işi bitecek. İnanılmaz bir maç bu sevgili izleyiciler.
The speed and power from behind Easter seemed to be far too much for AJ to handle, and he got stopped pretty brutally in the end, especially considering he never left his feet. Watching this back, you would wonder how AJ went on to win the Olympics just a year later. Well, the reason I haven't uploaded for a while is because I've spent my last few days just watching back tons of great amateur bouts.
Nice right hand by Joshua, snaps back the head of Camarel. That was a great punch. He unseats the #1 boxer in the world.
And in AJ's defense, I was majorly impressed with his fights. Just a couple of short years into the game, Joshua had beaten the world-ranked #1 heavyweight, and then replicated it again in the Olympic finals a year later. Remarkable stuff, and he didn't ever show any other chin issues like he did in the fight with Easter. In fact, most of the time, it was his opponent's unclear streak. I personally think Parker's team was a bit harsh to suggest Joshua's chin is suspect, but it clearly rattled him at the press conference a few days ago, and maybe that was their plan from the off.
So it makes it very interesting because the two styles, they come forward, these guys, and look for the knockout. So if they're trading, what do we know? We know that one guy's never been dropped and the other has. I think experienced boxing people will go, hang on a minute. Joseph probably a bit quicker on hand speed, definitely got a better chin.
I don't want to talk too much about this fight, as I'm planning on releasing a tale of the tape video as the fight draws closer, so look out for that. When Deontay Wilder announced he will yet again be taking on the Cuban southpaw Luis King Kong Ortiz, the hardcore boxing community started licking their lips at the thought of Deontay finally facing a true test.
Right hand uppercut. Bang. If you get tagged like that, you're in desperate trouble, and he's done.
Not to downplay Steve or Wilder's other challengers, but Ortiz is clearly a level above those guys while being judged on the eye test. He's big, he's slick, and he can trap a fighter and punish them in a split second.
Redondo stays up after bouncing off the ropes and goes down on the rebound.
The first fight was originally called off due to Ortiz failing a drug test. He was caught with high amounts of diuretic chlorothiazide and hydrochlorothiazide, which are used to treat high blood pressure, but can also be used as a masking agent for PEDs.
Put themselves out of the fight with these substances. It's not my fault.
The WBC later gave Ortiz a pass after his doctor assured him he did indeed only use the drugs to treat his high blood pressure. Strange, I know, but hey, that's boxing for you.
Luis Ortiz has been away from the ring for nearly a year.
Ortiz has already had a fight since, and knocked journeyman Daniel Martz into orbit before himself and Wilder got into an altercation.
When are you ready? When are you ready?
No, I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready for you.
All right, stay by the phone, baby. Stay by the phone. I've been wanting you.
All right, and we apologize for the language.
I respect Wilder a lot for giving Ortiz a second chance. I remember him also saying the same thing to Povetkin when he failed a test before their bout in 2016. I guess the man is confident enough in his power to beat anyone whether they're cheating or not. And I would be the same if I could crack like this.
Pace.
Again, I don't want to talk too much about this one until my Tale of the Tape video, but I will say my pick for this fight might surprise a few people. The most shocking news of this year so far has to be the fact that the big horrible heavyweight David Price has landed another huge opportunity to get himself ranked in the top 10 after, out of nowhere, terms were agreed for him to take on Alexander Povetkin on the AJ Parker undercard.
Already been in touch with, and you know, we said about potentially fighting Alexander Povetkin, and then I felt the fire relight straight away, you know.
Price hasn't beaten a ranked opponent in years, and every time he's stepped up, he's been knocked back down. I'm not saying I don't like that fight. In fact, I think it's going to be fun while it lasts. Povetkin hasn't exactly looked like his old self since being banned for PEDs, but I expect him to take out Pricey within 5. But, and this is a big but, if David can land that big right hand, actually, I'm going to keep my mouth closed this time.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Oh, dear.
Yet another great heavyweight fight is announced this week between the former heavyweight champion Lucas Brown and brash contender Dillian White.
He fights like a bully, he acts like a bully, and he looks like a bully. He's obviously looking intimidating in pictures, shaved head, loads of tattoo. You're a tattooed penis, you don't need to look hard, you're already hard, you know?
These two have been going back and forth for a while now, and I think the fight has been made at the right time.
But my power is always going to be the factor. Yeah, I could lose 11 rounds and still knock you out in the 12th. So no matter how you look at it, my power is always going to be a factor in any fight.
People might have expected a bit more from the press conference. I mean, it wasn't exactly Chisora White, but I think the fireworks for this one will take place in the ring.
Lucas Brown is very arrogant and very ignorant.
It's a 50-50 in the eyes of the general public, but I think I'll stick to my original prediction and go with White on points.